Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I just wanted to do a quick video and talk about the North Korea situation. It's really hard to know exactly what the hell is going on because, in reality, we can't even trust any media outlets to give us real information. North Korea is one of the tightest and closed societies there is, and therefore we don't have any ready access to information directly from North Korea. So we have no way of knowing whether or not Kim Jong Un or people within his government are provoking anything. This may all be the actions of the United States administration and or other elements of allies that are either provoking the situation or blowing something out of proportion in North Korea. So really we have a real chasm between us and real information now. As you all know, as everyone who watches my videos knows, there is no media that we can trust. There's no news sources that we can go to. There's practically nothing that we can rely upon for accurate information on any given day. So really, we don't know what is truth and what is fiction. So we really need to be on our toes whenever something comes forward. So let me just say this. If it's being played up, I can't see a really win situation being put forward by just about anybody in this scenario. So if this is something that's being cocked up, as a possible, new war that we're going to go fight against the wishes of just about everybody in this country, I would imagine, it seems as though there's been a lot of precedent set for this. I mean, after all, we had the remake of Red Dawn, which featured North Koreans as the enemies. We also had the recent movie Olympus Has Fallen, which has North Koreans as the enemies. So certainly there has been a concerted effort to get the American people to fear the North Koreans. But when we look at the actual facts of their technology and their military, we can see that it is very difficult for North Korea to mount any kind of serious threat against the United States. Now, that said, they certainly could target Japan and some of our bases over in that area, and certainly South Korea. But what I see happening is that China seems to be massing troops on the border with North Korea and may be preparing to step in if something is going to happen there. So there are a lot of things that are going on here which could be seen in several different lights. At the end of the day, my take on this right now is that there's nothing to worry about. We're not gearing up for war. North Korea is not gearing up for war. That this is probably just some bluster on the part of Kim Jong Un, who, according to some sources, has been trying to get rid of some of the old guard people so that he could solidify his power within the bureaucracy there. And this may be just another example of bluster out of North Korea in order to cement himself as being a strong leader. And the pivoting of U.S. forces has been an ongoing thing because now we're more focused on China and Southeast Asia as part of the grand strategy of whatever the fuck is going on within this administration and its overall world war strategy that they seem to be so focused on and taking down all these different regimes and engaging countries around the world. So my end of the day analysis is that nothing is going on there. That this is just all a big nothing that's going to blow over. Now, lastly, I just want to comment very quickly on President Obama's budget that was released. And of course, it is, as has been said time and time and time again by me and many other people who have been in on this game for a long time, that Obama has finally proposed a budget that will cut Social Security by using the chain CPI, which increases over time, so that many years down the road, seniors who may be able to eke out a living today will not be able to do so, because as time goes on, it's a cumulative loss of benefits. And of course, the congressional Republicans rejected that budget on arrival, which is natural. But this is another example of Obama's precapitulation, even before any kind of negotiation, give over the entire fucking store to the radical lunatic right wing, because he serves the same masters that pay their bills, and that would be Wall Street and finance capital. And remember, we're talking about finance capital here because we don't really have any productive capital in this country anymore. If there is productive capital that's generated by corporations in this country, it is offshored, and it is used to produce and manufacture outside of the United States. The only thing that is functioning as any part of this economy is the finance capital end, and that is the churning of Wall Street. And that's why I've been calling for a Wall Street sales tax in order to try to put the brakes on some of what's going on up there. But that's another issue. So Obama has shown his hand yet again with a precapitulation on Social Security. And this will, in effect, mean that people, as time goes by, more and more seniors will have less and less, and they will be in utter desperate poverty. And this is the example that you have as a president in this country. Someone who doesn't give a shit about anybody or anything except his name in the fucking history books and himself, his own fucking personal fucking glory, the narcissist in chief. And make no mistakes about it, this is only the beginning. Now that he's a lame duck president, he's going to propose all of the things that I have railed against for the entire time that he has been in office. Prior to him even being the Democratic nominee in 2008, I called him out for exactly what he was. And this is the time when all of this is going to come together. And it's either going to impose the austerity fucking nightmare that has befallen the European Union here in the United States and throw a whole bunch of people under the fucking bus, or the whole house of cards is going to come down in a huge fucking heap. And that's what I hope happens, because all of these finance capital manipulators, the huge banks that are too big to fail and too big to jail, will collapse if that comes about. But they're putting all their cards in this now, and Obama is going to be on a full court press to get the New Deal programs cut drastically and to impose this health care law, which is going to mean higher costs for everybody. It's going to mean rising insurance premiums. It's going to mean all of the worst possible outcomes you can possibly imagine. And all this boils down to, just like with cutting Social Security benefits, cutting Medicare, all it boils down to is gutting the poor, the middle class, and taking away what little economic rights they have and handing it over lock, stock, and fucking barrel to the insurance companies and to the finance sector. And that is primarily represented by Wall Street. And let's not forget the corporations too, because it won't be long, it will be sometime this summer, when they propose the lowering of the corporate tax rate to 28 or 25%, whatever it is that they end up having. Of course, if Obama is saying 28%, you can bet that he'll throw out 25 as a starting point, because that's the way he operates. The precapitulator in chief. No negotiations. I'll just collapse immediately right before we even talk. All of this, and that's what austerity is, folks. It's raping the poor. It's gutting the poor. It's raping the middle class. It's gutting the middle class. It's gutting the most vulnerable sectors of our society to more enriching the fucking rich. And that's what Obama has planned, and that's what his budget is in a precept for. Now, because he has precapitulated already on Social Security, that only means that his final outcome will be even more egregious. Not only will there be the chain CPI, but there will also be probably cutbacks in benefits and maybe increasing the retirement age. I'm glad to see that some progressives have come out and condemned him and threatened primary challenges against Democrats who support that budget. I hope it's enough, because this is just the beginning of the end. It's a full court press now for the lame duck president, the narcissist in chief who cares only about one thing, and that is leaving some legacy of fucking slash and grab fucking murder here in this country. Drone murder everywhere, economic murder at home. Thank you, President fucking shitbag Obama. Thank you. Good night.